Good evening. This is the Village Council Public Workshop. The date is September 24th, 2025. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board in Village Hall, by mail to the Ridgewood News, the Record, and by submission to all persons entitled the same as provided by law of a schedule, including the date and time of this meeting. Roll call.
Councilmember Mortimer.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Perrin.
Here.
Councilmember Whites.
Here.
Councilmember Winograd.
Here.
Mayor Vagianos.
Here. Will you all please join us in a salute to our flag? We're going to take things a little out of order tonight. We're going to bump up the discussion of the resolution and budget ordinance for acquisition of the Warner Theater property ahead of everything else, so that if anybody has questions during the public comment period, they can be better informed to that. So let's go right to that.
Okay, I'm going to ask both Matt Jessup, our bond counsel, and Mr. Rooney, Bob Rooney, our CFO, to come up to the front.
Bob and Matt, thank you so much for being here tonight. We really appreciate it.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having us.
And Matt, I will just advise you that the acoustics in here we are working on, they are not terrific. So if you could speak directly into the mic so that everyone at home can hear you.
Sure. How's
Great.
that?
That's so much better. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're doing tonight and why we're doing it like this?
Sure. So again, good evening, everyone. Matt Jessup, McManaman, Scotland and Bauman, your bond counsel. As you all know, the village has been working collaboratively with the Ridgewood Arts Foundation on the acquisition of the Warner Theater in an effort to ultimately convert it into a cultural and performing arts facility. Key to this project is receipt of New Jersey CAFE tax credits from the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. Without those tax credits, this project can't happen. One key component of the Arts Foundation's application for these tax credits is that they have control over the site that the project is going to be constructed on. However, we do not want to go ahead and cannot buy the property unless we have the tax credits. So we are in a bit of a conundrum, right? To apply for tax credits, we need site control, but we don't want to pay for site control until we have tax credits. So the village has stepped up to play a critical role in ensuring that this project can move forward and that the Arts Foundation can make their application for the tax credits. You have before you tonight an ordinance that does a couple of different things. It approves a purchase option agreement. Pursuant to that agreement, the village is going to pay the seller $250,000 for a one-time option for the next 1 year to close on the sale of this property. That $250,000 is non-refundable, and it does not go against the ultimate purchase price if you or the Arts Foundation, I'll get to that in a minute, chooses to buy the property. It basically gives us a 1 year period to do all the work we need to do to try and get the tax credits. So during the 1 year option period, the Ridgewood Arts Foundation will prepare and file its application and will do everything it can to try and receive an award of tax credits from the New Jersey EDA. If the Ridgewood Arts Foundation gets those tax credits, the obligation to purchase the property automatically triggers, right? Award of tax credits means we are closing on the property 30 days later. If the Ridgewood Arts Foundation is denied those tax credits, then the purchase option agreement terminates, and we do not buy the property. Importantly, the village and Ridgewood Arts Foundation have been doing due diligence on the property. We continue to do due diligence on the property, and from now until effectively November 30th, we can continue to do our due diligence, and for any good reason or no reason whatsoever, we can cancel out and not pay the $250,000. The $250,000 is not due until we have completed our due diligence and we know that this site is suitable for the purpose of turning this property into a cultural and performing arts facility. The second thing this ordinance does is approves a purchase and sale agreement. That purchase and sale agreement is being signed now by you. It is being held in escrow, and if we trigger our event under the purchase option agreement, that purchase and sale agreement goes live immediately. Pursuant to that purchase and sale agreement, we would be buying the theater for $2.5 million. Again, on top of the $250,000 that we're paying for the option. Both of these agreements are expressly assignable to the Ridgewood Arts Foundation because Plan A, far and away, is for the Ridgewood Arts Foundation to receive the award and then for the Ridgewood Arts Foundation to be able to monetize that tax credit award in an amount sufficient to close on the property themselves and buy the property directly from the property owner. That is Plan A, no question about that. However, in the event that the Ridgewood Arts Foundation gets the tax credits, but for one reason or another cannot monetize the tax credits quickly enough to close on the property, the village under these documents will purchase the property and then will convey it to the Ridgewood Arts Foundation once they have their funds for an amount equal to the purchase price plus the purchase option price of $250,000 plus interest on any debt that we may issue to fund the purchase price in the first place. So think of the village as potentially the short-term lender or facilitator of the acquisition of this property in the event that the Ridgewood Arts Foundation can't execute it on its own within the very limited time frame that we have to buy the property once our option is purchased. The last thing this ordinance does is it creates an appropriation against which you can spend money, right? The reason that we're doing this way and the reason that we're doing it, approving this all now, is because under the state local budget law, as you all know, you are not allowed to sign a contract that requires you to spend money unless you have an appropriation in your budget against which you can spend those funds. Since we are signing a purchase contract today, putting it in escrow, and if an event happens in the future, it automatically comes out of escrow, we need to have the appropriation in place. Otherwise, we have violated the provisions of the local budget law, which we're not going to let you do. Bob here is actually the one who gets in trouble, so he's definitely not going to let you do that. So it's critically important that as we are signing and putting this tentative or conditional transaction into place, we have the appropriation and the governing body action necessary to support that action. And then in the event that we need to buy the property temporarily, we can do that with all of our actions already in place without being in violation of our agreements or the local budget law. The last thing I want to point out, and then I'll either turn it over to Bob or Mayor back to you, as your bond counsel, we're keenly aware of your annual capital improvement program. We're keenly aware of the fact that you typically authorize about $7.5 million of capital projects every year, and we understand the policy. We know why you do it, right? You have to, every time you authorize new debt for capital projects, you have to pay both the principal and the interest over time, over 10, 15, 20 years. And if you keep amortizing that same amount as debt comes off the books, new debt comes on the books, your debt service stays level, which means the impact to your budget is level and manageable. This $2.5 million does not have any impact on your otherwise general capital improvement program. First, you have a not unlimited, but nearly unlimited amount of debt that you can authorize into the future if you want to. This $2.5 million does not get you anywhere near to your credit limit, if you will. But second, and more importantly, any debt service that you incur is going to be paid by the Ridgewood Arts Foundation when you convey the property to them. So let's take the Plan B worst case scenario, right? It's the end of 2026. We have received our tax credit award and Ridgewood Arts Foundation can't acquire the property. We would buy the property for $2.5 million And we may need to issue $2.5 million worth of short-term debt to fund that, which would come due up to 1 year later in 2027. You only pay interest on a note at maturity. It's not like our mortgages where we pay principal and interest every month. There's no debt service obligation until the end of that 1 year period, which now is in 2027, at which point Ridgewood Arts Foundation will be closing on the property. So when we, the village, owe an investor $2.5 million plus let's say it's $75,000 of interest, we will be getting that same amount of money as the purchase price when we're conveying the property to Ridgewood Arts Foundation. So you neither have to worry about the principal of $2.5 million impacting your $7.5 million capital improvement program, nor do you have to worry about the debt service being repaid into your municipal budget in 2027 or beyond, because there is a takeout plan for Ridgewood Arts Foundation to do it via the tax credits, which would have been awarded, without which we're not doing any of this in the first place. And at the end of next year, you're simply canceling this bond ordinance like you cancel other debt, including, I think, tonight. So you'd go through that same process either way.
Matt, thank you so much for that very comprehensive explanation. You and I have spent quite a bit of time discussing this, and I appreciate your sharing your expertise and experience with the council tonight. Bob, do you have anything to add to that?
No, Matt and I had a conversation about this earlier today. We walked our way through it, and everything Matt's talking about, I agree with. That's a good plan.
Terrific. Council, questions? Anybody?
Not so much a question. I just wanted to thank you, Matt. I know we spent some time earlier today. You walked me through this. And just to summarize, and again, correct me if I'm saying anything wrong, it's basically just a backstop that we're required to do anyway. The plan is still the same. We have the option to buy. We're spending the $250,000 to preserve that option. The plan is very much for the Ridgewood Arts Foundation to pay for this. If for some reason there's a problem in timing, we'd be the short-term owner of the property, pending the Ridgewood Arts Foundation paying us back. But I certainly wouldn't vote for, I don't think anybody here would vote for exercising this option if we don't have that grant money. And it sounds like we'll be able to cancel this, regardless of either after we'll be able to cancel this if this goes as we planned and it'll go to. And it sounds like we're also legally required to do this by virtue of entering into the contract. We have to appropriate the funds. So it sounds like we don't even have much of a choice. So thank you, Matt. Thank you, Bob, for keeping us honest and doing what the law requires. I don't see this as changing anything that we've discussed up here from the dais for the last few months. Again, Paul, Pam, thank you guys for your leadership on this as well. But I certainly have no more questions. And again, I just appreciate the walkthrough, Matt, as well as everyone's work on this project.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, sort of to echo, thank you, Bob. We obviously get paper packets, and Bob spent a significant amount of time answering all my questions. And I just want to say to the community how exciting this is, that we have such talented people, and everybody with different skills, whether you're a lawyer or finance, has made this unique opportunity to save our Main Street, restore the theater to be a performing arts center. And I know you guys have spent a lot of time on it, but for me, I think Ridgewood is very grateful. It's an artery on our Main Street. It's very important, and I'm just so happy to see it moving forward. And of course, Paul and Pam, for doing all the work and being the two that made this happen. Thank you to you.
It's been an interesting ride. I've learned a lot. Thank you.
All good?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Actually, Paul, do we want to maybe go to vote on this? Because I know we have to open up the public hearing, and that way we can keep him here.
You know what I want to do?
What's
I
that?
want to go to public comment.
Do it that way?
So that if anybody has any questions, and then we will go to the hearing, and then we'll jump into our manager's report and council reports. So if you guys will stick around for a minute or two, let's see what
Certainly.
happens.
Yep.
Let's go right to public comment.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Boyd A. Loving, Ridgewood taxpayer. As you know, Mr. Mayor, I had several comments about this during the public hearing concerning the $250,000 promissory note, or whatever we want to call that. And by the way, just for clarification, the gentleman here said that you had that before you tonight. I believe that's already been passed. Am I correct?
Yes, I believe we've already
Passed
passed the $250,000 bond ordinance.
Right, the bond ordinance for $250,000 has already been adopted.
That's already
The
been
ordinance before you tonight is the bond ordinance for the $2.5 million purchase
Correct.
price and authorizing the agreements,
Right.
correct?
Okay. Another clarification is required. The agenda that the public has indicates that the ordinance tonight is for 2.6 million. Is it for 2.5 or 2.5 and a half or 2.6?
So the ordinance itself, Mayor, if I may, the ordinance
only-
itself is for $2.6 million, which is inclusive of the $2.5 million purchase price, and then additional what we call Section 20 costs, which allow for rating agency fees, printing fees, official statement fees in the event that we have to sell a note, and if we sell it into the marketplace, and/or if we choose to capitalize interest on that note. So it's effectively a cushion for a variety of variables, but per the purchase and sale agreement that's being approved by the ordinance, the purchase price itself is $2.5 million.
So the purchase price is 2.5 million, and the $250,000 promissory note is not included, does not take away from the purchase price, right? Does not reduce the purchase price.
It does not. The $250,000 is a payment for the option only, and if the Village or the Ridgewood Arts Foundation exercise that option, they'll still be paying a full $2.5 million on top of the $250,000 option price.
Okay, so can we have the bottom line here? What is the theater going to cost after we add everything up?
For acquisition,
Yes.
if you have the $2.5 million purchase price plus the $250,000 option payment,
And that's it?
$2.75 million.
2.75 million. So the 125 that's also being authorized tonight is not added into that. That's just a down payment?
The one,
There's a resolution on the agenda tonight for $125,000.
oh, that's just for the down payment. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, that is just to fund the down payment on the bond ordinance, obviously, and fairly typically with property acquisition projects, you don't always know that you're going to be buying a property, right? You don't know when a property is going to come on the market. So in this case, we needed to do the emergency for the statutorily required 5% down payment because that was obviously not in the plan at budget time. No one knew the property was going to be available.
Okay, you mentioned worst-case scenario. Somebody mentioned worst-case scenario. To me, the worst-case scenario would be that the village takes acquisition of this property, and then something happens to the Ridgewood Arts Foundation, and they dissolve, and the village now owns this piece of property. What happens then?
Well, I can tell you, Boyd, I mean, that's not going to happen. I mean, we're not going to take possession of this property and allow, I think, Bob to execute on this bond ordinance unless the Ridgewood Arts Foundation has the money in hand and is ready to go. Again, that's not our plan. Our plan is first and foremost to have Ridgewood Arts Foundation just buy this outright themselves, and then we cancel this bond or the bond ordinance. If that does not happen, it would be the very short-term owners. But at that point, Ridgewood Arts Foundation would have $40 to $50 million in their coffers, or about to have $40 to $50 million in coffers. So it's hard to imagine a scenario under which we would own this property permanently, and that's certainly not the intent of this council.
Mr. Rogers?
What I was going to say is that if I think you were asking if down the line, 5 years down the line, Ridgewood Arts Council no longer is an entity. And we certainly find another entity to take it, the village would not. So.
Okay, so the village will not own it. Okay, the last thing I do want to make a public comment is I get nervous when people say things like you can issue an unlimited amount of debt. Just makes me very nervous when I hear something like that, and I hope it makes you all nervous as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Boyd.
Well, Mayor, if you'd like, I'll just point out that the local bond law limits municipalities to authorize debt equal to 3.5% of their 3-year average equalized valuation. I don't know, Bob, if you have that number off the top of your head, but that number is typically hundreds of millions of dollars. Nobody goes anywhere near it quite typically, and I suspect your net debt number is well below the 3.5%. My point was simply that adding $2.5 million temporarily to that number does not put you in any jeopardy relative to the rest of your capital improvement program plans for the next several years.
We completely understand.
Yeah,
your point, Matt.
it's actually a bit of a backhanded compliment, because the idea is that we're so far away from our statutory limit on what we can borrow, because we are fiscally prudent here, that yes, theoretically we could borrow a large sum of money, but nobody is going to allow Bob to do that. Like I say, but again, it speaks, I think, to the fiscal conservatism that we've shown and prudence that we've shown, that we're nowhere even remotely close to the legal limit, which again is not a good idea to get close to anyway.
I think if that was suggested, Bob would have the big one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I am unconcerned. Does anybody else have any questions for these gentlemen who have been so comprehensive in their explanations? No? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And let's go to our manager's report.
Do you want to close public comment? Do we want to close?
Well,
I'm worried about our
Thank you.
process. Sorry. So
Thank
we-
you. Is
and
there anyone else? You're absolutely right.
Sorry.
I lose track. You know, not a young man anymore. Does anybody else have any comments from the public? Seeing no one, I am going to close public comment, and we will move on with the balance of our agenda.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Heather,
Okay.
all you.
So, Mr. Kazmark had a family obligation tonight, but I would like to share his report. We had some very exciting events occur over the past week or two here in the village. First, I want to thank our Parks and Recreation Department for their work in organizing the grand opening of the pavilion at Habernickel Park. The event was very well attended a week ago this past Saturday, and we look forward to this new facility being used for community gatherings and families who are visiting the park. Also held a week ago Saturday in Memorial Park in Venice Square was the kickoff of the 1 Million Minutes of Wellness Challenge, part of the Mayor's Wellness Campaign. I want to thank the committee, along with our health department, for putting this initiative together. Last Wednesday, we celebrated the inaugural baseball and softball games under the lights here at Veterans Field. I want to thank all of our community partners, Bergen County, the Board of Education, and our sports organizations for making the field lighting possible. I especially want to thank our Parks and Recreation Department and the Engineering and Signal Divisions for spearheading the project, and to RBSA for helping put together the program for opening night as we celebrated this new improvement. I want to encourage all of our senior residents to consider using the Bergen County Ride Connect program. This program allows individuals to call and book transportation to meet their individual needs. For more information, residents can call 201-368-5955. In addition, seniors can always sign up for the village's senior bus service through the village manager's office. Yesterday, we welcomed New Jersey Board of Public Utilities Commissioner Michael Bange to Ridgewood Water Headquarters for an in-depth discussion about our operations, our investment in PFAS treatment, our efforts in replacing lead lines, and improving our distribution system. We toured the Prospect PFAS treatment facility, which is scheduled to be operational by December 1st. Our team at Ridgewood Water looks forward to finding new ways to partner with the Board of Public Utilities on important programs and incentives. On tonight's agenda, we will discuss capital balance cancellations across village departments with our Chief Financial Officer, Bob Rooney. This has been a goal of mine since I arrived here in Ridgewood, and I am pleased that we are able to make these recommended cancellations tonight to the Village Council. I have just a few announcements. Please take a few minutes to honor the 12 Ridgewood residents who lost their lives during the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001. Visit the portrait exhibit in the Ridgewood Public Library throughout the end of this month to see their photos and read about their lives and their families. Remember to log your minutes for the Million Minutes of Wellness. I know the mayor is probably going to report on this as well in his report. The Ridgewood Chamber of Commerce Annual Ridgewood Farmers Market takes place on Sundays through October 29th from 8:30 to 2 p.m. at the New Jersey train station parking lot, west side. Enjoy fresh farm-to-table vegetables, fruits, baked goods, local honey, homemade mozzarella, and much more. The next council chat will take place on Saturday, October 4th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. in the caucus room here on the 4th floor. Please call for reservations, 201-670-5500, extension 2206. Walk-ins are welcome, however, reservations have priority. The Ridgewood Guild will host their Fall Harvest Marketplace on Saturday, October 4th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Memorial Park at Van Ness Square. Join us for a day full of fall fun and festivities, such as tractor-drawn hay rides, shopping with 50-plus vendors, delicious treats and desserts, pumpkin painting, and music all day long. Ridgewood will hold its annual flu clinic on Tuesday, October 7th in the Annie Zuzi Youth Center located here on the ground floor of Village Hall from 10 a.m. to noon. You must call for an appointment. Please call Valley Community Health at 201-291-6090. The Ridgewood YMCA will host Oktoberfest on Sunday, October 12th at the Woolsey Square lot in the West Village from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. There will be free parking in the Hudson Street parking garage. Join us for a fun-filled day of harvest fun, live music, hay rides, food, and more. The Village, Ridgewood, and all village offices will be closed on Monday, October 13th in observance of Columbus Day. The recycling center will also be closed, and there will be no curbside bulk pickup refuse that week. Leaf season begins the week of October 13th. Schedules have been mailed out, and they will also be posted on the village website. Village Council upcoming meetings are broadcast live from Village Hall Courtroom on the village website, Channel 34 and FiOS. They are also available on Zoom, by phone, or YouTube. The upcoming meetings for work sessions are September 29th, which is Monday, due to the Jewish holiday on Wednesday, October 22nd, November 5th, and then our public meetings are on October 8th and November 12th, and all meetings begin at 7:30 p.m.
Thank you, Heather. Let's go to council reports.
Let me go first. Because actually Oktoberfest is 10 to 5.
Okay, Frank, if you want to go first, you can go first.
I just wanted to jump out with that, so I'm sorry. So open space met on September 11th. We discussed the upcoming open space tax referendum, and the committee chair, Jim Bossler, is making the rounds to inform people about what the referendum is about and its past successes. We additionally cheered about the Green Acres diversion was meeting that we held a few Mondays ago, and then also the last park walk, which will be this Saturday, September 27th at 10 a.m. at Twinney Pond. So I do encourage everyone to do that. Additionally, this Saturday is a Chocolat, which is being held at Orchard, and this is sponsored by the Ridgewood Arts Council, and that's Saturday from 9 to 2.
Frank, may I suggest that you spell chocolat?
C-H-A-L-K is the key word you're after, as opposed to,
A-L-O-T.
yes,
Right.
with dashes in there, Paul, so
I
you see,
understand.
you get it. But yeah, the whole idea is that give kids a chance to come and just do some chalk on the ground. Additionally, September 18th, last week, CSAC met. We had another great meeting with site triangles. An update there that we've had 8 new compliances and 3 new summonses were issued, and in total we've had over 110 compliances. And what's really cool about the impact that they're making is last September, October at the intersection of Northern Parkway and Glen, there were 4 accidents in 5 weeks in September and October. And now it's just, we're not experiencing that because that was one of the site angles that was cleared. Additionally, and Evan, you'll be happy to hear about this, but at Oak and Glen, that we're going to be replacing the flashy lights that are there now, the red and the yellow, with a larger sized and double lights, and that project is going to start September 29th. So they have to put the footing in, and then they can do the lights. And then we've been getting reports of different accident incident reports by month. And so in July, there were 48 incidents. In August, 58, which is surprising since so many people are on vacation in August. So that shows it's probably out-of-towners who are causing all the accidents. And then finally that we got a resident wanted to get a crosswalk painted at North Pleasant and Fairway. And by the resident bringing that to our attention, that our engineering department said, yeah, we can do that. And so that is going to be put in the next few weeks. And I say that to show that if you come forward, either via email or at the CSAC meetings, that we can get things accomplished. And that's it, Mayor.
Thank you, Frank. Siobhan?
Sure. So I have several updates. One, I'm thrilled to announce that the Access Week, no longer weekend, lineup is out. And just a couple things to highlight. On Tuesday, October 14th, we will be running Pull Over Properly in the Great Inn parking lot. And this is a program in conjunction with our police force. We were lucky that the police have attended our last Access meeting. And effectively, it's a program that's wonderful for anybody. I wish my kids had been able to do it, but with neurodivergencies that tend to react to the sensation of being pulled over is atypical. So we simulate with children who are neurodivergent in the community and licensed drivers. It allows them to practice. It also allows them to have a positive reinforcing interaction with the police officer. We're also going to be promoting Operation Blue Envelope, which is a program that helps law enforcement and the fire department in these situations with the neurodivergent community. Thursday, October 16th, there will be a senior event downstairs. Thursday night, October 16th, we will have a sensory-friendly dinner at the Steel Wheel, which will be very exciting because this is our first place that said yes to us. And we're very grateful to Glenn. And if you've never been to this, again, this is a wonderful opportunity for people in the special needs community to come. We dim the lights, we take some of the acoustics down, and we really allow children and families, and most importantly, siblings, to experiencing a meal together. I do want to say these types of things are also part of our wellness approach with the Mayor's Wellness. So the sensory-friendly dinner will be logging minutes for the Mayor's Wellness because splitting a meal goes to your actual wellness, and we're hoping everybody joins us there on October 16th. On Friday, October 17th, we're going to be running ASL 101, which is a program at the Ridgewood Public Library. As some of you may or may not know, American Sign Language is now a language with instruction at our public high school. It's been widely embraced. And this is a wonderful opportunity for anybody to come in and listen to the speaker. He's wonderful. We had him last year. He was born hearing, suffered a health illness, and he's also an Apple influencer. So we're hoping the high school kids find him very interesting because he talks about how the innovations in technology have also helped him with hearing loss. So anybody who has any interest in that for any reason, that will be at the library. On Saturday, as I tell Paul, bring your best sparkle and join us for the historically wonderful fashion show. And on Sunday, we will be hosting a community forum with to discuss how faith-based organizations can incorporate outreach to disabilities. So that's a lineup. We have this will all be going out on social. It's being populated. I do want to thank the Ridgewood Public Library, the Ridgewood Police Department, and of course, Access. When I first got on this council, Access was just a weekend, and now we are a full-on week. So thank you to everybody who made that happen. We also had a meeting with Stigma Free where we discussed many things, including the wellness, and we're going to be focusing on layering some efforts into the Mayor's Wellness campaign that are not just typical exercise, things like breath, taking a moment. Deputy Mayor Pam and I are working on some things that might show up here, and we're going to keep Paul out of it. And then we also wanted to highlight that October is National Overdose Awareness Month. So I wanted to remind the public, this is Narcan, if anybody's ever seen it. We did receive a grant. These are available in our Board of Health. If you have never seen it, you feel that it has a stigma, I'm here to tell you it doesn't. I'm so proud of our health department who issues this with no questions asked. If you have a child in a group living situation, let's say at college, I would recommend you go and you get this and you have the discussion. And as many people know, part of breaking the stigma is talking about it, feeling it, and seeing it. And we will be running a class on how to administer this. And if anybody has any questions, you can reach out to me or the Board of Health. But if anybody needs these, I want to thank the Board of Health. And I want to put it up here. Break the stigma just a little bit, have it on the dais. And if anybody has any questions, let me know about that. I too also, as the fields rep, want to thank everybody who came out for the baseball event. It was wonderful. And just as a female, I want to say how wonderful it was. Never have I seen the girls play under lights. It was a wonderful moment. I want to thank all our partners, which I'm not going to list, the sports people who donated, the county and our Board of Ed. And if I forgot anybody, we're very grateful that those lights have improved our athletics facility, but they've also improved the quality of life for the neighbors because there's no spillage. It was a big night. It was really nice to be out there, and I want to thank everybody who made that happen. I also have a wonderful announcement that Shade Tree is going to meet on an off night on the 30th, but we are in full mode of Adopt a Sapling. If anybody would like to be a part of Adopt a Sapling, please reach out. But for this council, one of the most exciting things is that the staging area is the pavilion. And you know, I love this, that I think Shade Tree was the first one to book in Master Library, the new pavilion. So that will be our point where the trees and everybody will meet. That will occur in October, and I wanted to say thank you for that. We also met with
October
Richard-
18th, right?
Yes, Saturday at 9 o'clock. And if you want to be a tree captain, you know, I think Nancy Brendan Hill has to vet you, but we would welcome it. But if you want to just be a tree planter, please reach out. We'd love the help. I know we have several tree captains up here. I know they don't like to brag, but they're all up here.
So were we vetted and
Yes.
they let us in?
Yes.
The bar is low, guys.
We also met with Ridgewood Beautification Team. In the grant for the bus station, we received some money for new planters. We've also, through the work of our interns, collaborated with the Ridgewood Guild, and we've increased about $2,300 in private money to allow us to buy more planters. And we're going to be taking the effort to partner with the Ridgewood Police Department to make sure that these new planters are placed more. So that means more flowers, more beautification, and we're very excited about that. We're also beginning discussions on how to make these planters more holiday-esque, you know, whether we should put them in, you know, with evergreens, and if anybody has any ideas on that, or if they want to donate time, money, or talent, we would welcome that. Two last things. I want to wish everybody who's celebrating Rosh Hashanah this year, Lashana Tova, to you and your families. I hope you have a great, sweet new year. And lastly, if you have a child away at school who hasn't registered for the mail-in ballot, it is an election year. It's the responsibility of all of us to promote the vote. Please register. There's still time. If you have any questions, please reach out to the clerk's office. And that's it.
Thanks, Siobhan. Evan.
Great, thanks so much. So I too want to wish all members of our Jewish community a Happy New Year. We met with the library, or library met last week. Exciting news at the library. We did put out a press release on this, but the Friends of the Ridgewood Public Library and the Ridgewood Public Library Foundation have merged. Historically, those two have worked separately to raise money for our library. For those of you who are not into the budget as much as those of us up here are, our library actually only takes the minimum amount of money from the village that we are required to pay them by New Jersey law. Virtually all the things that they do above that is done through foundation, through fundraising that's done by these two organizations. They've now come together. It makes it easier to decide which organization you're going to give money to. It's going to reduce their overhead costs. It's going to allow them to act strategically. I really want to thank Paul McCarthy, Joni Harrington, and all the volunteers of both organizations that are now one for the amazing work they do, making our library the jewel of our community while keeping our taxes low and not having to fund so much of the great, great work that they're doing. As I think we've already said a couple of times, and you'll probably hear more, just in the last 2 weeks, a couple of just really good, basic, good government stuff happened. Really, really proud of this. The lights that Siobhan mentioned would encourage all of you, drive by Vets Field, take a look at the way the lights came out. They're amazing. So happy that Nancy Bigos and Keith brought this to our attention and came up with a plan. So happy with the sports folks, the county, the Board of Ed, all came together with us so that we could do the entire field, including the girls' softball field, which was not part of the original plan. They look amazing. You don't smell the fumes anymore. You don't have that constant din from the portable lights. It's actually less spillage onto our neighbors who are living around the field. They just look wonderful, and just was so personally pleasurable for me to be on that field to see Paul throw the ball and miss the catcher during that first pitch.
I think it went over the backstop, actually.
Yes, well, either way, it was not your best and finest baseball moment, Paul. But it was amazing that we were able to see it happen because those lights were on. So fantastic. Also, I know a number of us went to both the Hilton and the Senior Lunch and Learns over the last 2 weeks. Great events for our seniors here in the building downstairs. I know, Paul, you had presented to them. Thank you for doing that. I left to avoid an OPMA violation. But also just really great to see us not just focusing on the kids in the community, which of course we want to, but really making sure that we're focusing on everyone in the community. Just 2 great senior events. And then finally, Siobhan mentioned the role of the Habernacle Pavilion again came out even better than I think we envisioned from the plans that we were presented. Would encourage everyone, drive by there, take a look at it. It came out just really, really beautiful, nice. I know we're going to be putting in a new playground over the winter. I could already see the throngs of parents using that area for shade while their kids are on the new playground, and as well as all the folks who are using the baseball field and the soccer field over there, having that area to stage and then also to do other events there. It just came out wonderful. Finally, I know most of us up here are going to be going to the Gold Star event this Sunday at Van Ness at 7 p.m. I'm going to encourage everyone to show up, show your respect and gratitude for those families who've given the ultimate sacrifice by having a loved one, die in support of our freedom. It's not a fun event, but it's one that I look forward to every year, and just happy to be able to represent the village along with everyone else up here at that really, really important event.
Thanks, Ev. Pam?
Okay, well, the Ridgewood Business Alliance is now up. It's got its certificate of incorporation, and thank you to the council for passing the ordinance to allow the Ridgewood Business Alliance to function. We are looking at office space, and they have chosen the 13 directors who will be deciding policy issues for the Ridgewood Business Alliance. Today we got our employment ID number, and we'll be getting insurance pretty soon. So we're all pretty excited about that. And the Central Business District Advisory Committee also met and talked about how they could help the Ridgewood Business Alliance get up and running with things like a survey or a vacancy listing, that sort of thing. At the CBDAC meeting that we held, we also talked about lighting downtown, and Captain Ender pointed out that whenever you see a street light out in Ridgewood, you can contact Street Light Outage PSE&G. It's so easy. If you do, you can contact PSE&G directly. The next Zoom meeting for oh no, we're not having a Zoom meeting. No. Okay, let's see, the pavilion, yes. If you haven't seen it, do visit. When you look at it, you think, oh, what kind of event can I have there? That looks really nice. I also want to welcome my new student intern for the semester, Rayhan Mahmood, and this is her first meeting here, and we look forward to working together. Mayor's Wellness, I just wanted to say the form is really easy. Don't procrastinate like I did. It's so easy. And let's see. The Vetsfield lights, no buzz, no smell of gasoline. It's great. Gold Star Families, that is such a meaningful ceremony every year. I do encourage people to attend. The Ridgewood AM Rotary Club volunteered for this third time to paint fireboxes. The Gamewell fireboxes are those freestanding red and white things that you see, and they are, according to Chief Judge, the fastest way to get a fire truck to a fire location. So we were painting them to make them more visible to residents. So thank you to the AM Rotary Club. We covered all of Heights Road and the side streets. Porch Fest this weekend was just a glorious event. We couldn't have had better weather. The bands were fabulous all along Brookside and Spring Avenue. And then in the afternoon, it was over to West Side Press. It was just a fabulous, incredible Norman Rockwell experience. It was Ridgewood at its best. Let's see, Green Ridgewood will be meeting the second week of October, not the first week because of the Jewish holidays. So our next meeting will be October 9th downstairs in the senior lounge. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Pam. First, happy Rosh Hashanah to everyone celebrating tonight. It's a good time to be in the village because there's lots of good stuff going on. I'm going to tell you that as of 11:30 this morning, the million-minute goal for the Mayor's Wellness Campaign is up to 164,800 minutes. That is 11 days into this. I am over the moon that we have so many participants who are engaging in this and registering their time. And again, this isn't just about getting on an exercise bike. This is about having dinner with your family, spending a moment spiritually, checking to make sure that your checkbook is balanced because it's part of the 8 pillars of wellness. And my colleagues have gone through all of these wonderful things, but I'm just going to list them for fun because, let me tell you, volunteerism in this community is where it is suffering in so many other places. It is alive and well. The inaugural games under the lights was just a magical, special night. The sensory-friendly dinners, I have to give a special shout out to Siobhan for Access Week, along with her partner in crime, Jamie Davis, who have made this an event of events. And if you've never been to the Access Fashion Show on Saturday at the library, let me tell you, if you want to smile and maybe shed a tear, you should go to this because it is absolutely wonderful. Our seniors are being celebrated. Adopt a Sapling brings in everyone. The Pavilion at Habernickel, I think I'm having my birthday party there next year. The Gold Star Memorial, you shouldn't miss this. These are the people who made everything we do possible. They sacrificed a loved one so that we could do all of this. The Ridgewood Business Alliance, Pam, thank you so much. It's been so much work. Porch Fest. Who has something called Porch Fest besides Ridgewood? This is, like I said, great community. It is our honor to be here. And with that, I am done. Let's move on. And let's entertain a motion to suspend the work session and convene a special public meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, hold on. Mortimer,
Yes.
Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
and Vagianos.
Yes. This is the Village Council special public meeting. The date is September 24th, 2025. The time is 8:20 p.m. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by a posting on the bulletin board in Village Hall, by mail to the Ridgewood News, the Record, and by submission to all persons entitled the same as provided by law of a schedule, including the date and time of this meeting. Roll call.
Councilmember Mortimer.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Perrin.
Here.
Councilmember Whites.
Here.
Councilmember Winograd.
Here.
Mayor Vagianos.
Here. Heather, take it away.
You have to move. We're in the introduction, bond ordinance, acquisition of Warner Theater property.
Here we go. I move the first reading of ordinance 4060.
I second.
Mortimer,
Yes.
Perrin,
Yes.
Whites.
Yes.
Winograd,
Yes.
Vagianos.
Yes, so ordered. Will the clerk please read ordinance 4060 by title?
A bond ordinance providing for and authorizing the acquisition of the Warner Theater property in and by the Village of Ridgewood in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, appropriating $2,600,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,475,000 bonds or notes of the village to finance part of the cost thereof.
I move that ordinance 4060 be adopted on the first reading and that October 8th, 2025 be fixed as the date for the hearing thereon.
I second the motion.
Mortimer,
Yes.
Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd.
Yes.
And Vagianos.
Yes.
The following resolutions, number 25-386 through 25-388, will be adopted by consent agenda with one vote by the village council. They will be read by title only. Endorse final application to the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection and State House Commission approval of after-the-fact disposal of parkland at 308-316 South Broad Street, Ridgewood, New Jersey. Support application to the New Jersey Economic Development Authority Cafe Grant Program renovation of Warner Theater into Performing Arts Center. Authorize down payment for bond ordinance authorizing acquisition of Warner Theater property, and that's it.
So moved.
Second.
Mortimer?
Yes.
Perrin?
Yes.
Whites?
Yes.
Winograd?
Goodbye, diversion. Yes.
And Vagianos.
Yes.
We need now a motion to adjourn the special public meeting and reconvening the work session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Okay. So moving on to discussion items. We have nothing under Ridgewood Water or parking. We're on to budget. This is cancellation of capital balances. I'm going to have Mr. Rooney come up again so that he can tell you all about this. So please come up. Thank you.
Twice in one night.
Good night for us.
Good night for me, too. So I've provided council with a memo and an outline of all the capital balances that we're proposing for cancellation in the general capital fund. So we worked with each department head, went through each one of these ordinances that had balances, asked them if they're still going to be in use, if they have any need for them. We've filtered them down to some that have encumbrances still against them, which will have to be adjusted because they're going to be taking them off the books. They're no longer needed. And those that are unencumbered, which department heads agreed that were no longer needed for their current use. The total of the encumbered and unencumbered is about is $626,000, which after cancellation will go back and be offset against our net debt.
Questions?
It's great. It's amazing that these have been sitting out there for as long as they have.
It's awesome.
Some of them have been around for a while.
Yeah.
Everybody good with this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Let's go.
Okay.
Bob, thank you so much.
Moving on to the next one, resolution for tax exempt veteran refund. It's a 100% tax exempt veteran for block 4502, lot 46. This also cancels all future property taxes. Okay.
Questions?
Nope.
Let's go.
The next one is cancellation of taxes on a foreclosed property. It's on block 4407, lot 2, as the village foreclosed on a municipally held lien for non-payment in the last 6 months. Due to the fact that the property is held by now us, the village, it's tax exempt. So that's been canceled. It will be canceled when we do the resolution.
So are we selling this property? Is that the plan?
No.
There's a big
It-
PSE&G easement on it. That's you think of it as the right-of-way.
Right.
And there are lots of telephone poles. I don't know
Okay.
about pipes underneath, but PSE&G must have an easement there. But
It's at least right next to it, right there. And as open space is such an important part of our village, that I think it's important that we look at it from that perspective as well.
All right, I'll certainly take it offline. Certainly, I have no issue tonight with canceling the taxes on it because we own it regardless, but fair enough.
Like Pam and I are already dreaming of different things we can do with the property, so.
I believe part of it, I'm not sure if the whole parcel, because I don't know, is in the floodplain as well, isn't it?
yeah, the geese love it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rooney. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
So the next item is awarding a contract under Bergen County contract for a Chevrolet Tahoe. This is from Pellegrino Chevrolet of Westfield, New Jersey, not to exceed $57,785.24. This is in the 2025 capital budget. It's replacing Car 38, which is the first due frontline vehicle used by the officer in charge. The new vehicle is expected to serve a projected lifespan of 5 to 6 years as a frontline vehicle, and then an additional 5 to 6 years as Car 38's backup. So the dollar amount is for the purchase of the vehicle. Capital will also be utilized for radios, lighting, a command box, and lettering.
Questions?
Yes? What does first due frontline vehicle mean? I kind of know, but I'd like to know a little.
Well, whoever the officer in charge is, he goes to the fire first, and then the fire trucks come in after.
Okay.
So that's basically.
That's a pretty short life expectancy. I did see that a plug-in hybrid version of the Chevy Tahoe is anticipated for 2026. So if you wanted to wait for a couple of months, you could get a really fast vehicle.
Yeah, I think this is, I don't know what good shape Car 38 may be in. So we'll have to check that.
I see that John Judge is online.
good. So
and
could
he has his
answer
hand
that?
raised.
Good.
And so can we let him into the room?
Sure.
Good evening, everyone. How are you?
Good evening, John.
Hi, Chief.
Good. First off, Deputy Mayor, thank you for painting the boxes again. I appreciate it as always.
Our pleasure.
As for Car 38, yes. So I had this investigated about whether we could do hybrid or electric vehicle for this, and because of its usage, it didn't really work out for us upon our investigation the way we use it. First due is yes. So when we get a call, it's the first thing out the door, as Heather said, with the engine, everything else. For instance, we have 2 engines that are backups, but when an engine's out of service, that replaces it. So right now we have a vehicle that is the current 3, it's backup, which is 12 to 14 years old. So this comes in because of the wear and tear it gets, like a police car. We try and keep it 5 to 6 years. Our current one's about 7 to 8 years that we're at currently.
Well, thank you for looking into the hybrid model.
Absolutely.
Right.
Everybody good?
Okay, then.
Thank you, John.
No, Chief's going to stay on and explain to you the fire watch fees that he'd like to increase. These have not been increased in the last 3 years. The last one, they were established in January 2023, so we're increasing them to be effective in January of 2026. Go ahead, Chief.
Thank you. So looking to increase the application fee, which is current $20 to $25. Administration fee would go from $20 to $25 an hour, and the firefighter hourly rate would go from $55 to $65 an hour. Everything else would remain the same. The language, the minimum hours would all remain the same. Just so everyone knows, I did research about as many Firewatch ordinances as I could find, and this would still put us at the lower threshold of what everyone else is charging.
Questions?
What is a Firewatch service?
Okay, so the best example I can give, easiest, is let's say one of the nursing homes' sprinkler system, which is required, is not working. We would send 3 firefighters with an engine, and they would literally provide that service until it gets back up and working. Which, just so you know, these companies call, and they're there within 2 to 6 hours, we'll say.
I know exactly what that is. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Okay, thank you, Chief.
I was going to make my joke
I'm
and
sorry.
say, hopefully this doesn't impact the price of the s'mores at the holiday, because that is the ultimate fire watch.
There you go.
Does not.
Thank you, John.
That's always volunteered by all the union every year anyway.
It's awesome every single year, so thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
except
all.
that
Have a nice
Siobhan
night.
gets in the front of the line and there aren't any s'mores for the little kids at the end of the line.
She knocks him out of the way.
I know.
For the record, I gave my s'mores away last year to like a 3rd grader.
It's not pretty. Let's move on. Thanks.
Nothing under policy. Under operations, we have 2 memorandums of understanding. One is for Childhood Lead Exposure Prevention Project. The Bergen County Department of Health Services obtains a grant from the New Jersey Department of Health, which enables the county to provide lead poisoning services to all 70 municipalities within the county. This agreement is valid for 12 months, and the county has drafted a memorandum of understanding for all of us to sign. There's no cost to the village for this grant. We've been using it successfully since 2019, and the county provides quarterly reports to the health department in all cases, and also the health officer here in Ridgewood is able to access and review all cases in Ridgewood.
Any questions? Item last.
The next memorandum of understanding is again, the Bergen County Department of Health receives grant money to be the lead agency for offering services to local health departments. There's no fee for these services, but it is required service under the public health practice standards. The memorandum contains agreements for services regarding a comprehensive cancer control plan, New Jersey Cancer Education and Early Detection Program, tuberculosis control, and public health emergency preparedness program. This MOU will be effective for 1 year.
Questions? Let's go back to public comment.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Ann Loving, Ridgewood taxpayer. Really appreciative, as always, that the Rotary is going to be painting the fireboxes. That's wonderful. And I always feel compelled to mention that Roger Wygand, who possibly only Matt and Boyd and I in this room knew him. John has left. He knew him, too. He used to do this as a volunteer himself. And so, anyway, I just always want to mention his name, which is on the podium as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Anyone else? Seeing no one, I'm going to close public comment and entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you.